Hey, what is going on, guys? So my focus on Seed Master Grade kits this month continues here with the Duel Gundam Assault Shroud. So you've seen the Blitz Gundam, now we're going to be taking a look at the Duel as picked by the good fellows in my Patreon Discord server. So thanks to them for helping me choose which one to do next. So we've got the Duel here looking very cool in its Assault Shroud form there on the side. And you can see it without all the extra armor and everything here in like the background there as well. So it does have that form, but I think pretty much everyone's probably just going to have it with all the armor on. Though you sometimes do see people building it up without the form, without all the extra armor on it. Honestly, not as impressive. It's not quite as interesting. It has the most interesting look to it with all the armor on. And I think this is one of those kits where even a lot of people who aren't really into the designs of the Seed Gundams, a lot of people still kind of like this one because it definitely has a more UC kind of look to it, very similar sort of to like a full armor type Gundam, something like that. But anyway, of course the box art looks fantastic. Let's take a look around the other sides here on the left and right side. Just kind of got the same thing there. Let's head down to the bottom. On the bottom of the box, just some information there, a look at the front and back, how the kit is going to look when it's all armored up and painted up and all of that. Some details here about the weapons and armaments. It's got that over-the-shoulder cannon. It's got some missiles in the other shoulder. It's got some movement there in the vents on the back of the legs, I guess, something like that. It's also got that bazooka, the beam rifle, the beam sabers, shield. There's how it looks with just the Gundam and then all the armor laid out like that. The gimmicks about just the movement. Yes, it's got all that nice movement of the frame that we're familiar with. It's going to have the same frame as the Blitz and all the rest of the series that came out around the same time, of course. And then it's got some markings and figures there included as well, of course. Go around to the top of the box. A little bit about the Seed HD remaster of the anime series and the remaster of the comic there. Again, just to look at the form, basically just from the front of the box with the armor, without the armor. The style there, illustration of the Gundam and illustration of the other Gundams there, and the list price of 4,200 yen for this, so not all that expensive. As you can see, just like with the Blitz, it's the larger style box, but it's not very thick. So right off the bat, we've got a bunch of dry transfers there, and probably some other style stickers, I would assume. So it's going to have a lot of new parts, but then we will see some familiar runners in here as well. The frame runners, of course, as I mentioned, going to be the same. So we'll take a look at all of those here in a moment. Let's just first take a look at the manual. So again, love the style for the manuals for these, how they just have the same box art, but just the background is just all whited out. So it just has a cool kind of clean look to that illustration there on the back. You can see just nice painted sample images of the form without and with all the extra armor on there. Again, yeah, without all the extra armor, it's quite plain. It's still cool. I mean, it has a very slimmed down look to it and looks just very kind of low armor, but yeah, I don't know, it definitely looks much better with all the armor on, I'd say. The color guide is down here at the bottom there, and the color guide for the figures as well. Let's head to the center page where, unfortunately, this was out before we started getting a bunch of English in the manual, so we've got a whole bunch of text here all in Japanese. Some cool looks at the frame, showing the Gundam with a bunch of the armor off, exposing the frame there, and then this really cool image here with a bunch of the armor off and a bunch of the wires plugged into it. So kind of cool idea for a diorama or something if you wanted to make something like that. It's kind of interesting. And then down here with the armor on and some more kind of CG render posing there, some more detail shots of the front and back of the Gundam and the weapons and all of that, a couple of illustrations there, so pretty cool stuff to look at. In the front of the manual, we've got some more illustration stuff and stuff about the story, other Gundams there you can see. So all this stuff in Japanese, but you can whip out your phone translator app, translate that, and have yourself a good read. Or, as always, of course, just check out the wiki page. It's probably already on there already. We've got our parts list, and it looks like we're going to be using pretty much everything in here except for some of the polycaps, but otherwise not going to have any leftover parts, so that's always good. Just goes all through the construction, and then in the back, I assume just, of course, how to put on the extra armor. And on the very last page, just this sticker and decal guide, so where to put all those around on the kit is all laid out here. Let's get a look at the runners. Alright, so first up we've got our foil stickers here, and just like with the Blitz, it's just for the eyes, a bunch of cameras there in green and one little green triangle. Then we've got our sticker markings, and there's a lot of little just red generic caution markings, but a lot of these are very specific kind of more interesting markings for this. You got those yellow lining bits, the hexagonal patterns there, the dual logos, and other different logos that you've got to stick on this. So a lot of interesting logo markings for this. And then you've got the dry transfer markings, and quite a lot on here. A bunch more markings in white, and then you got some blue and red caution markings on there as well. Usually it's kind of interesting, the foil stickers, the regular decal marking stickers, and the dry transfer decals will all be packaged in this same packaging together usually, but they were all each in a separate package, which is kind of just different. SB1 for our clear pink beam saber effect parts, PC 130 and 130B for our polycaps here in gray, and then our A runner here, which is often in 4 colors. This time is only in 3. We've just got clear parts down there at the bottom, some orange parts on the side, and then some blue parts there on the other side. And for the B runner, a bunch of the armor here in gray. This is just from the Seed X armor, so this is all just kind of the generic armor like we've seen with some of the other Seed kits, of course. And then runner C as well, also in this dark. And then runner C as well in this dark blue color is also from the MG 100 scale Seed X armor, so the generic armor parts for the Seed series. Runner D then is getting into the gray ABS frame parts, this one as well from the Seed X frames, so all generic frame parts from for the Seed series. Same thing here for runner E, more ABS gray X frame. And then that continues on to runner F as well for more generic frame parts. But then finally runner G is getting into the frame parts that are specific for the Duel Gundam, so you do have a handful of these here on the G runner. Runner H is going to be some more gray armor parts. You can see on there we also have our pilot figures. Runner I then is getting into some of that light blue color for the exterior armor for this. The Assault Shroud all looks really nice. The detail on it looks fantastic. And that is continued here onto the J runner as well for a few more parts for that. And then runner K is back to gray for a few more frame parts as well as weapons parts, but this time not in ABS. This is just standard polystyrene plastic. Runner L is mostly just a bunch more weapons parts for this, a few other detail parts and things like that, more parts in gray. And finally runner M has just a few more extra parts here in the really dark gray, slightly brownish color. It's a really interesting color for this. But alright, that's it for the unboxing of the Duel Gundam. I've heard that this one is one of the best ones from the series, and I've got no doubt about that. It definitely is one of the most cool looking ones in my personal opinion, so I really have been wanting to build this kit for a long time, so I'm really looking forward to finally getting around to building it. I think it's going to be an awesome one. If you guys have built it, or especially if you've built all of them in the series, is this your favorite, or which one is your personal favorite? Let me know down in the comment section below. And as always guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the review. Bye bye.